Okay, when I tell you that this cake takes the meaning of apple cake to another level, I truly mean it. It is packed with apples throughout the cake, it's wonderfully spiced and is topped with the most delicious crunchy crumble. It's like apple pie in cake form. So to start off, you want to preheat your oven to 160°C or 320°F with the fan turned on, also known as convection mode, and grease or line a 9-inch springform cake tin. As always, I'm using my homemade cake release to grease my tin. It works so well and my cakes come out perfect every time. So you just want to set your cake tin aside for now, and next we're going to prepare our apples. So you're going to need 3 apples for today's cake, and if you can get your hands on some Honeycrisp apples, I would recommend using them, but today I'm just using Royal Gala apples because that's just what I had on hand, but honestly any variety of red apple will work fine. So you want to go ahead and peel all of the apples, and then one of them is going to be used in the cake and 2 of them on top of the cake. So I'm just setting one of the apples aside for now, and I'm going to prepare the ones for the top of the cake. So for those apples, you want to first cut them into slices, so not paper thin slices, but not too thick either. Okay, so those are the apples for the top of my cake all done, and they're probably about 2 to 3 millimeters in thickness. And now next you just want to grab a bowl and combine 66 grams or a 1/3 cup of soft brown sugar and half a tablespoon of ground cinnamon. Just give that a good mix and then add in the sliced apples and mix it really well so that the slices are evenly covered in the cinnamon and sugar. You can also use your hands to do this too. You just want to make sure that your hands are nice and clean. Now you just want to set that aside for now, and with your remaining apple you want to coarsely grate it. So you want to use the part of your grater that has the biggest holes because we want to have individual thin pieces of the apple as opposed to it being all kind of mushy, which is what happens if you use one of the smaller sections of your grater. So in total you want to have 120 grams of the grated apple. A couple of grams here or there is fine, but you just want to be careful not to have too much apple in our batter later on in the recipe because apples release a lot of liquid when baked, and so we don't want our batter to be too wet. Okay, so that is all our apples prepared now, so just set the grated apple aside for now, and next we're going to prepare our crumble topping. So in a bowl, combine 50 grams or a 1/4 cup of soft brown sugar, 66 grams or a 1/3 cup of white granulated sugar, 180 grams or 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Give that a good mix and then add in 113 grams or half a cup of melted unsalted butter, and then give that another good mix until everything is well combined. I like to use my hands towards the end for, the remainder of the mixing, just to make sure everything is combined properly, and once done you should end up with this kind of crumble consistency. Now just set your crumble aside for now. It will firm up a bit more as it cools, and now we're on to our last element, which is our cake batter, and it is so incredibly easy to put together. So we're going to start off by sifting together our dry ingredients. So to a bowl add in 150 grams or 1.25 cups of all-purpose flour, 16 grams or 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, also known as corn flour in some countries, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And then you just want to use a whisk to mix that all together until it's well combined, and then set it aside for now. Next, in a large bowl, combine 150 grams or 3/4 cup of soft brown sugar, 2 large room temperature eggs, 100 grams or half a cup of unflavored vegetable oil, I use canola oil, 70 grams or a 1/4 cup of room temperature Greek yogurt, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then you just want to use a clean whisk and give that a good mix until everything is well combined and it's really nice and smooth, so there's no more lumps in it. Next you want to add in your shredded apples from earlier, and be sure to get any liquid that may have come out of the apples that's in the same bowl, and then using a spatula you just want to fold that in until it's well combined. And now to finish off, you just want to add in your pre-sifted dry ingredients from earlier and gently fold that in until it's just combined. You want to be careful not to overmix the batter though, so only fold it in until you can't see any more streaks of flour. Okay, so that is our batter all done. It smells so incredible from all the spices in there. And now it is finally time to bring everything together. So first you want to add your cake batter into your cake tin and evenly spread it out. Now once that's done, give your cake tin one light tap on the counter to remove any large air bubbles, and then next you want to grab your sliced apples from earlier. Now at this point your sliced apples will have a bit of liquid on the bottom of your bowl, and this time around we want to discard the liquid, so we don't actually want the liquid. So what you want to do is just grab your apples from the top as is and then simply just spread them out evenly on the top of your cake batter. Now once the apple slices are spread out, the last step is to evenly distribute the crumble all over the top of the cake. Now it may seem like a lot of crumble, but trust me, it is so incredibly delicious, and you want to make sure that you use it all up. Okay, so that is everything all done, and now this is ready to go into the oven for 45 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean and the top is nice and golden brown. So my cake is all done now. It smells so incredible. You want to let it cool in the cake tin for about 10 minutes, and then you want to remove the sides of the springform tin and then let it cool for another 20 minutes or so before transferring it onto a serving platter or cake stand. Now you don't need to let this cake completely cool. You can have it while it's still nice and warm, which is the way that I like it. But yeah, this cake is honestly so delicious. It is packed with apple flavor, and the spices and apple crumble really just take it to that next level. Okay, that is incredibly delicious. I forgot how good this cake is. It is packed with so much flavor, and it really gives off those, kind of cozy, warm vibes that you want from an apple cake. And I really love the different textures throughout this cake. So you've got that super soft cake layer on the bottom, you've got the slightly, kind of firm apples, and then you've got that crunchy crumble topping. It goes so well together. So that is it, guys. If you do decide to give this apple cake a go, then please do leave a review on my blog. It really helps my content out, and I absolutely love hearing from you guys. Apart from that, I'll see you in the next video.